The small town of Lakeview, located in the heart of the American Midwest, always seemed like the perfect place for a quiet life. Straight streets, neat houses with green lawns, and friendly neighbors created an atmosphere of safety. The town was surrounded by dense forests, and just a few miles away lay a lake with the clearest water, where families would gather in the summer and ice skate in the winter. But everything changed on one summer day. On Sunday, June 12, 2019, 9-year-old Lily Webster disappeared in broad daylight. Lily came from a good family. Her mother, Mary, was a teacher at the local school, and her father, John, was a firefighter. Lily was a cheerful and friendly girl. Everyone in town knew her and loved her for her smile and lively character. On that day, Mary had allowed Lily to go to her friend's birthday party, and the girl had promised to be back home by dinner. When evening came and Lily hadn't returned, Mary started to worry. She first called Lily's friend's mother, but she assured her that the girl had left around 5 in the evening, as promised. Panic gripped Mary's heart. She called the police, and officers arrived on the scene promptly, starting to search the area. Soon, volunteers joined the search, but neither Lily nor any clues to her whereabouts were found. A few days after Lily's disappearance, the locals began noticing strange things. At the place where Lily was last seen, a volunteer discovered a doll. It was a porcelain doll, very old and seemingly expensive, lying on the edge of the forest. The doll looked eerily realistic, with huge glass eyes and a creepy smile frozen on its face. Mary recognized the doll. It was Alice, Lily's favorite toy, which she always carried with her. But the problem was that Alice had been left at home in Lily's room. How did it end up here? The police thoroughly examined the doll, but found no traces except for Lily's fingerprints. That's when Detective Jack Harrison got involved. He was an experienced investigator, familiar with such cases. The discovery of the doll concerned him. Jack suggested that the doll might have been left by the kidnapper as a sign or warning. Harrison began his investigation by questioning everyone who might have seen Lily that day. During the interrogations, he learned that a middle-aged man with grey hair, who did not appear to be a local resident, had been seen several times in the area where Lily lived. Some people recalled that he often stood near the elementary school where Lily studied, watching the children. Jack started searching for this stranger. He went to a local cafe where surveillance cameras often recorded visitors. As he reviewed the footage, Harrison noticed a man matching the description given by the witnesses. The man had entered the cafe a day before Lily's disappearance and sat in a corner, observing everything. His behavior was strange. He did not order anything and simply stared out the window for hours. Jack took a still frame of the man and circulated it in the media, hoping for tips from the public. Soon, a town resident called the police, stating that they had seen the man in an old van parked on the outskirts of town, an abandoned motel. Detective Harrison immediately headed there. Upon arriving at the motel, he spotted the van described by the witness. It was rusty, with cracked windows and dented sides. Jack approached the van and looked inside. No one was there, but on the seats were old newspapers dated to the days when Lily had last been seen. Harrison called for backup, and the police began searching the abandoned motel. The abandoned motel was a gloomy place. Once, it had provided shelter for passing tourists, but now its windows were boarded up, and its walls were peeling and worn. The police searched each room, finding nothing suspicious. At the end of the corridor, Harrison noticed a door labeled staff. It was locked with an old rusty padlock. Jack took out a lockpick and, with some effort, managed to open the door. Inside was a small room lit by a dim bulb. In the center of the room stood a table covered with photographs of children taken from local newspapers. The walls were adorned with children's drawings and posters. Jack approached closer and saw that one of the drawings was of Lily. Her photograph was pinned to the wall next to a poster about missing children. On the floor lay another doll, similar to the one found in the forest. Harrison felt a chill run down his spine. Meanwhile, other officers found a basement under the motel. Descending the stairs, they discovered an underground room with a camera. The walls were covered in children's drawings, and toys were scattered across the floor. In one corner stood a bed with an old blanket. It was a dreadful place. But Lily was not there. On one wall hung a map of the town with marks indicating places where other children had gone missing in recent years. The next day, Jack Harrison held a press conference to announce the discovery. He was convinced that the kidnapper was nearby, watching their every move. At the same time, he knew that such a person was likely to panic and make a mistake. A few days later, Jack received a letter addressed to him personally. The letter hadn't been mailed, it had been left on his doorstep. Inside was a sheet of paper with neatly printed text. "I know you're looking for me. You'll never find her." Jack realized that the case had just become personal. He felt that the kidnapper was playing with him. The police increased patrols throughout the town and organized round-the-clock posts at the school and other places where children might appear. But time passed, and there was still no sign of Lily. A few days later, one of the town's residents, Mrs. Hollings, called the police. She reported seeing a strange man approach her house at night. The man stood in the shadows, looking at her windows and muttering something to himself. Mrs. Hollings couldn't make out his face, but she was sure it was the same stranger. Jack went to her house, but found nothing but footprints in the grass. A few days later, on the outskirts of Lakeview, in an abandoned barn, the police found a new clue. One of the local farmers, while inspecting his property, noticed the barn door ajar. Inside, he found a doll similar to the one Lily had. The police arrived immediately and began searching the surrounding area. Jack Harrison entered the barn and, by flashlight, noticed tracks leading to the far wall. There was another door there, leading to a basement. Descending into the basement, Harrison saw a small room. In the corner was a bed with a small figure lying on it. It was Lily. She was alive but looked weak and frightened. Nearby,